Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Morning Shot.
Good morning, it's Audrey Siek with you for Morning Shot. Have you recently bought confectionery from a decades-old bakery or perhaps visited a traditional paper lantern shop? Starting today, the National Heritage Board will be launching an open call for the new pilot SG Heritage Business Scheme, which will recognize and support time-honored heritage businesses here on our little red dot. Through this new scheme, businesses like these can look forward to receiving brand campaign support as well as access to business support such as consultancy services. For a start, the scheme will be open to eligible businesses located in the central area, with NHB working towards including more areas in the future. So for more insights, we're joined by two guests today in the studio. We're happy to welcome Nasri Shah, Assistant Director of Intangible Cultural Heritage at the National Heritage Board. Nasri, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Great to have you on. And also with us in the studio, Anna Fong, Chief Operating Officer of Tong Heng. That's a heritage brand known for its iconic egg tarts and traditional pastries. Anna, great to have you with us on the show.
Hi, and good morning to everyone.
Good morning. Thanks both for being here today. So let's dive straight in with you, Nasri. So this new scheme is targeted at businesses that are registered and operating in Singapore for at least 30 years. So can you tell us, why is NHB rolling this out now, and why is it this particular demographic of businesses?
People may be familiar with the work of the National Heritage Board primarily through the national museums. But as far as we're concerned, heritage businesses are also key custodians and partners in safeguarding our cultural heritage. You talked about Lana cakes, for example. So that's a very good example of how traditional recipes are preserved, transmitted, and transformed over time. And a couple of years ago, the NHB, as part of our Heritage Master Plan, or SG Heritage Plan 2.0, expressed our commitment to be able to support or to want to support heritage businesses better so that it can do the good job of preserving and transmitting their business and also contributing to our cultural heritage. The reason why we're focusing on this particular group of heritage businesses that have been around for 30 years or more is because these businesses have weathered decades of change. And so they've also had to adjust to the winds of change over time. And so they are a particular group of businesses that do need a particular bit of attention from us.
So talking about weathering the winds of change, I want to bring Anna in now. So Anna, running a heritage business comes with its own set of challenges. So from your experience at Tong Heng, what are some of the biggest hurdles that heritage businesses face today?
Lots of them from time to time. I mean, starting from the second generation, people whom I know when I was young until now, like from my grandfather passing the business to my aunties, which was quite reluctant because to him it's like, you ladies just get married, live life. This is F&B, it's too tough. So, but my aunties, my bosses, they persevered.
Okay.
And they had challenges like how to introduce new flavors or something more that's more relevant to them in the 70s when they were taking over the business. So it's pretty much the same as right now, how I'm managing it by helping my aunties. I'm going through the same thing, and lucky for me, a lot luckier, is that my aunties, they recognize the hurdles I'm dealing with. So they have been very, very, very supportive.
Okay, and so as a heritage business, do you see this new SG Heritage Business Scheme benefiting businesses like Tong Heng? Any plans to sign up for this?
Absolutely, because somehow, although my bosses, they understand what I'm going through, but new ideas like marketing, this is something which they find that, do we need that? For the longest time, we don't need marketing, and we survive. So do we really need that? It's something, but things have changed. And to stay relevant, we do need to shout out to people like, hey, we are offering this, things like that. And until today, I'm still having problem getting my family to agree with spending a certain amount of money on marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys have been around for such a long time. So has that process that you had before worked for you guys for a certain period of time and now it's time to pivot?
Yes, there is many of them. Okay, in the past, something which I heard in the past was going digital. using the phone or the computers, things like that. And somehow they're supportive to a certain way. So even on our website, the online purchasing is going live very soon.
Okay. So, Nasri, coming back and linking this back to the SG Heritage Business Scheme, could you tell us more about the support that NHB is planning to extend to these heritage businesses to help bridge the gap between the public's appreciation of heritage businesses and their actual patronage of these businesses?
Anna talked about marketing. That's going to be a key feature of the scheme. On the consumer's end or the larger public's end, we do see that there is a bit of a gap in terms of the general Singaporean public's awareness of heritage businesses or their contributions to our national identity. Amongst people that we surveyed who shared that they don't actively go to a heritage business, some of the reasons they cite is a certain perception about the type of quality that they would get from going to a heritage business or the relevance of it to their everyday lives. So most of them only patronize a heritage business for cultural festivities or on seasonal periods. And so one key feature of the scheme is the development of a unified SG Heritage Business brand mark that would be able to express qualities of pride, care and support for these heritage businesses that have contributed so much to our national identity, hopefully using this brand mark to allow businesses to endear them to a larger and a newer generation of Singaporeans. We will also be developing a marketing toolkit that businesses can use on their own platforms, through their own means and so on. Obviously, every heritage business is different at the same time. A lot of them will come from a different legacy and have different needs and requirements. So another aspect of the scheme is that NHB will allow businesses to be able to access very tailored consultancy services. So people really engaging them at their premises, finding out a bit more about the business itself and understanding what their needs are and what their aspirations are, and then developing a set of recommendations that businesses may or may not wish to follow up on as part of furthering their business journey forward.
Okay, so a very tailored approach then, which is great for these businesses. And we always hear about the need to evolve with the times, right? But for businesses with a strong heritage like Tong Heng, Anna, that has been around for decades, there's also the challenge of kind of staying true to tradition as well. So how do you guys balance that? And can you share an example of how you've managed to do this?
Always looking for new things to show it to our customers, but yet the ingredients, the way we cook it or bake it or boil it is still the traditional way, handmade. And also the ingredients we use, because ours is a Chinese brand, so we don't use man products like chocolate or strawberries. Still it's something which my auntie tell me, remember, we are a Chinese brand. Keep the tradition. So ingredient, what are the key things? Keep it Chinese. So that is one of the way. But yet at the same time, how I present it to our customers, we have to still keep it in the traditional, like handmade, and the old way of preparing it is still the same. But the presentation is more appealing, good enough for them that the mobile phone gets to eat first.
Oh, yes, that's very important. So have you found that you have all of your traditional old-time pastries and you have had to add to your menu to evolve with the times, like kind of like to supplement the tradition and not to take away from it?
Yes, we still do. Like, for example, our traditional Chinese wedding pastry. For the longest time, we have like maybe only 10 options. Now we have over 30 because the different ways of preparing, that means we play around with the different ingredients that's already existing, plus something that's more relevant to today's customer as we created a plant-based version.
I see.
Yeah, so to also stay inclusive.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so Nasri, at least for right now, the scheme is open to businesses in the central area in Singapore. Any plans to expand it to other parts of the island?
Yeah. So just to clarify, the central area is an existing planning boundary. It encompasses some of our major cultural, historical and lifestyle precincts like Chinatown, Kampong Glam, Little India, Orchard and so on. And these are also some of our oldest urban centres. So it follows that there's a very significant proportion of heritage businesses in this area, which is why we're focusing on it. At the same time, we do recognise that there are a lot of heritage businesses outside of this area. We are going to use the pilot and take the time to really understand and see the impact of some of the incentives that we're introducing first before we plan to introduce it nationwide.
Okay, and just to have you wrap up now, Nasri, looking at the bigger picture, heritage businesses are more than just places to shop or eat, right? They help shape Singapore's cultural identity. So in your view, what else do heritage businesses bring to the table, and why is it so important to support them?
Our heritage businesses, they add character to our neighborhoods, to our cultural precincts. They are a source of cultural expertise and heritage. You can go to them when cultural festivities come around. You can ask them for information about how to do certain rituals, for example. They also define our cultural destinations to the rest of the world, essentially. So they give us a sense of pride. They add meaning to our lives. So as Singaporeans, at the very least, find out about the heritage businesses in your area. They don't have to be in the central area. Mm-hmm. And if you have the means, go and support them. And if you feel very strongly about them, the scheme will allow members of the public to put forth a nomination. Before you do, we do encourage you to let the heritage business know first, so it's not a surprise.
Okay.
And also allows you to get information that you need for the nomination. And so I think these are just some ways that Singaporeans can come forward during this time and really express your support for businesses like Tong Heng and many others that we've grown up with.
Yeah, so this was a great look into the Pilot SG Heritage Business Scheme and how it's a great step towards ensuring businesses like Tong Heng stay relevant and continue thriving in the years to come. Nasri and Anna, thanks so much for joining us today and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you for having us.
Much.
Thank you. We've been speaking with Nasri Shah, Assistant Director of Intangible Cultural Heritage at National Heritage Board, and Anna Fong, Chief Operating Officer at Tong Heng. Stay with us on Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.